The 35 to 54-year-old age group is the grumpiest of any in Britain today. They're grumpier than their parents, who survived the war and were just grateful to be alive. Grumpier than their children, who don't seem to care very much about anything. Wherever they look, they find something that makes them grumpy.
I'd like to smash up modern technology.
There has been some kind of genetic leap.
Am I computer literate? You've got to be out of your mind.
What is Acrobat Reader?
Do I really have to be on the net? Why must I be on the net? Shut up, shut up.
Turn it off before I cut your head off and use it as a bowling ball.
It's not just about modern technology. It's about almost everything. Mobile phones, packaging you can't get into, traffic calming, automated call centres, designer labels, fast food, public transport, traffic and cars.
People love their cars more than they love human beings.
Nobody needs an off-road vehicle unless they're off-road.
Why we put up with it, I simply don't know.
At school, they were told that the white heat of technology would deliver leisure and pleasure. Robots would take care of daily chores. Computers would take the nasty, hard part out of thinking. But it didn't work out that way. Once so simple, life now seems so complicated. They've just got used to one thing, and it's another. Instead of leisure and pleasure, technology has just made everything go faster, and faster. Oh, sure, our grumpy old men can keep up with it if they want to. It's just that they're not sure that they want to.
We're assaulted by technology wherever you go. There seems to be never a moment when there's not someone at you with their technology, which is why lots of grumpy men just go off and walk up mountains and are never seen again.
It all started 30 years ago with a video recorder. Watch a program whenever you want to. What a great piece of kit, we all thought. At first, it was so simple. Press record to record and play to play. Then came the remote control, automatic tuning, timers, tracking, 7-day planning, and those 8-digit number codes you had to program in. For our grumpy old men, it was like asking a monkey to paint a Rembrandt. And to add insult to injury, the only people who understand it are the kids.
My wife and I really look forward to their coming home so they can do it for us. But then, of course, they know too much, you know what I mean? So they fix it for their own purposes, you know. So you go to watch a video and you find that they've sort of reprogrammed it so that it'll bottle black currants or something. Do you know what I mean? It'll do something other than what you expect it to do.
I'd like to smash up modern technology to preserve my personal traditional craft of sitting around doing bugger all.
We've got stacks of videos that we've never seen because we can't make the video player play them. And DVDs, do me a favour.
There's hardly a workplace in the land that has not been transformed by the computer revolution, which has now put paid to those innocent pleasures afforded by the shorthand typist, the typing pool and the copying department. You can hardly function without being what's known as multi-skilled, and our grumpies are appalled.
I don't know what it means. I have, I suppose, made a conscious decision. I haven't mastered pen and paper yet. You know, I try and make myself write letters. I like to read books. I like to hold it in my hand like, you know what I mean? But I can't do no computer shit, because I just don't know how that goes on. And I don't really believe that it has anything to offer me.
I was eventually persuaded to buy a computer. I actually was not having any social life at all, or was being utterly... I was a complete pariah until I bought a computer.
Our grumpy old men hate taking the machine they bought just 18 months ago back into the shop for a spare part, only to have a small crowd of spotty youths gather round to have a good laugh at someone using the technology equivalent of the flintlock musket. They're not quite ready to be patronised by snot-nosed kids.
There has been some kind of genetic leap, and children are born understanding. I think it's because they're not frightened of it. You know, they'll just, I bet this is what you do. And then if it doesn't, oh, well, OK, we'll try and they'll try something else. Whereas, I'm very expecting something to go terrifically wrong.
When the instruction booklet is bigger than the piece of kit and it's unintelligible, that does drive you absolutely crazy, yes.
I have a little man, and a little man comes around to work on the computer. So, in fact, I've stepped back technologically to deal with the advanced technology. And the little man is always saying to me, why don't you upgrade? Why don't you get this? Why don't you get that? Why don't you get this peripheral? Why don't you do that? Your computer's ancient. It came out of the pyramid of Cheops. You can't do anything on that. And I just can't be asked. This built-in obsolescence of this technology is phenomenal.
When we were lads, our idea of multi-skilling was reading the paper and shaving at the same time. If your chain came off your bike, it was your dad you turned to for help. Even if his other job was running the country, he always had time to get out the oil can and sort you out. Today, technology has denied Dad even these simple pleasures.
You spill tea on top of your laptop, and if you don't back up, and if your tea's got sugar in it, you know this, don't you? But if your tea's got sugar in it, that's it. If you do it on a laptop, it's smashed. And this is what the guy at the computer...
Well, if your tea's got sugar in it, of course, you're not going to get anything back, are you? Do you take sugar?
The biggest lie that the technology manufacturers sell you is plug and go. It's plug and... I don't know what's going on here. And it's hours. What are you doing in there from the kitchen? I'm just bought this new bit of kit, darling, and I'm just sorting it out, and that goes on for weeks. Yeah. Plug and go. It's a joke.
Of course, once you have the computer, the word processor, the office manager, the calendar, the graphics pack, the accounting software and the printer, you need to get online. It's all so simple. You can go narrowband or broadband, ADSL or cable, pay as you go or all you can eat. You program in your credit card so that someone in Las Vegas can use it to fund their drugs habit. Choose your search engine and then discover that www stands for Worldwide Wait.
Oh, but you get anything on the internet. Oh, yeah, solution to Northern Ireland peace problem, it's on the internet. Cure for cancer, type in cancer, cure, and then there's 3,000 documents about some boy in Milwaukee whose favourite band is The Cure and whose star sign is cancer, and you've read about 10 pages of it before you've worked out it's absolutely no relevance at all to what you want.
Who wants to surf on the net? Who wants to surf on the net? You've got to be brain dead. This is the point at which I recede to being of the analogue, ink and paper generation. I can see the advantage of it, but as a professional working journalist, I hardly ever use it. I'll do it to access a clips library, but I won't read off screen. It drives your brain into an omelette-style mush. You do not want to do that. As for the rest of it, it's wank fodder. Who hits sites? It's sad guys tossing themselves off. It should be called the tosser net, because that is 99% of the traffic.
And speaking of traffic, when our Grumpies were at school, they were promised that they would commute into bright and air-conditioned offices in hands-free, bright and shiny vehicles, running smoothly over maintenance-free roads with magic eyes which would prevent them colliding, while a robotic assistant would update them with the latest news. Instead, they sit in small tin boxes with overheated engines, travelling slower than the horse and cart of 100 years ago, polluting the atmosphere, burning fossil fuels. They're paying 75% tax in petrol, congestion charges, and £40 a day to park. Despite all that, all the expense and frustration, driving is a modern love affair.
Cars. People love their cars more than they love human beings. All that money, you turn on the telly and there's adverts. They're marvellous adverts in a way. Creative people have spent hours, years working it out. They've spent a fortune to advertise a bloody car. And they're just cars, they're tin boxes that get you about. And it would be better if we were all on public transport and there were more people in the tin boxes, rather than one person just loves his car and he prefers his car to any human being.
Amongst friends or family or in a crowd, our grumpy old men can temporarily be distracted from all the many things that rattle their cages. They may even appear to function like everyone else. But when they're on their own, in the car, with nothing else to think about, their minds just wander over life's many bloody irritations.
I think there's a dangerous number of options. in a car. In the car that I've got, there's a kind of stick of controls, and I have no idea what it's for at all. Absolutely no idea. But the car seems to go all right without it, you know, without my knowing what it means. And there's just too much, too many gadgets.
Motorways first, traffic's at a standstill on the M25 and...
There's something which has been engaged at some stage that interrupts the radio station that you're listening with traffic advice. And I don't know how to switch it off. And so I'm driving along and I've been listening to some record that I really like and singing along with it, possibly if there's nobody else in the car. And suddenly somebody will come on and tell me what's going on the M25. Now, I don't, you know, I know a lot of people drive on the M25, but frankly, I don't give a what's happening on the M25. But I don't want my records to be interrupted by people telling me.
No, what I really hate on the road are bull bars and 4WDs.
They could have used them to invade Iraq, couldn't they? I mean, they're semi-military vehicles, aren't they? All they're saying is, I have lots of money. That's all they're doing. Oh, but we need it to go up hills. No, you don't. You need it to make your penis look bigger.
Nobody needs an off-road vehicle unless they're off-road. Go and live in a field if you want to drive a 4WD. Don't tool up and down the Fulham Road, taking little Chloe and Tarquin back and forth to private school in your bloody 4WD with your bull bars, which will kill a child if you're going at 2 miles an hour. That is insane. Go on the Pamplona Bull Run.
With plenty of time to look out of the window in their slow-moving vehicles, our grumpy old men cast their eyes over the environment around them. They sit back and take in the streets in towns and cities, which look as though the nursery class have been given custody over the paint gun and run amok.